Hello everyone, Matthew97657 here, and today we are back with yet another figure unboxing and review. And compared to our traditional Godzilla figures, this is a different figure, but it should get a review nonetheless. This is the Garland figure from the PlayArts Kai series from Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise. And so, with that, nothing more to it than to get on right on into it. And alas, here we go. As you can tell from the box, I purchased this one from Big Bad Toy Store. First time I've ever purchased from Big Bad Toy Store out of my whole life after hearing about them for my whole life. So, you know, it's kind of like a roundabout, right? I finally made a purchase with them, even though I kind of check their website sometimes. So, here we go. All right. So we got the box open. We're going to close the knife for now. And then we're going to get this here. Some protective packaging. There we are. And I actually can't see what that is. I just see a whole bunch of colors. Oh, that's the back of the box. And there, oh my goodness. I didn't think it was going to be this big. There it is. So this is, as you can tell, Garland from Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. No surprise here. I haven't even looked at the front. Oh, you can't even see it. Boom, there it is, the Garland box in all of its glory. There is the front, and I'll get some better close-ups with a different camera. There is it is, so PlayArts Kai, and then it says Strangers of Paradise. The back is what I saw, and look at that back. And I'll get a close-up shot. If anything, I'll add in some stuff too. And then it looks like we have the same side profile as well. The top of the box, you can see my recording, and then the bottom of the box. So yeah, I mean, let's do it, right? Here we go. Wow, what a nice box. Okay. All right, and then I'm gonna flip them over so you guys get the first look. Just peeking them out of the packaging here. I didn't think this figure was gonna be that big. Holy smokes. Yeah, you can't even see the darn thing. All right, so what we're gonna have to do is I'm gonna move him up a little bit, and I'm just gonna move my camera up a little bit better so we can actually see what we're looking at, right? So, boom, that is our protective packaging. So those are the I did not think this figure was that big. This is like actually giant. So here are our accessories. We'll get to it in a little bit. Let's see. Keep going. Take that out. Dude, holy smokes. Look at the sword. His sword. Look at that. So it's got a nice metallic purple as the outline, and then on the middle, you can kind of see the chains. It's kind of like a bronze, and then in the middle of that, there's some blue highlights as well, along with the gold, and then it comes with this little piece here. But no, this sword is actually like relatively big, like for my hand and the sword. So wow, the great sword looks great. I think I would call it a great sword. And then let's unveil chaos. Ooh. Oh man. So we have a bunch of protective sleeving. Very grateful for that. Oh my goodness. Take that off. Take that off. Let the cape fluff out. Get some of these underlean parts out. Okay, I'm gonna fix his foot there. Oh man, I really don't deal with humanoid figures that much, so this is, it's like a learning for me. Okay, I think that is it. There are no pegs for his feet. So in theory, he should be able to stand well. So that's just like a super neutral pose, and I don't want him to fall over. There we go. That looks fair there. So, wow, let's get the rest of this unboxed, and then we will go through it in closer picture. Okay, so here are accessories. So this is a base I'm looking at here. Translucent base. We have these hooks, which can just open and close like that. So there's a big hook, a medium hook. There's one stand. I would assume this is for the greatsword. And then we have a set of hands. And they're all very nicely organized here. All right, so we have some open hands and we have some closed fists as well. So we'll set all of this aside. And then we'll get this front-facing one, and then I'll get a better review here in a little bit. So here is Garland here. He's really big. And I can't get any super close-ups, but just from a standpoint here, let's see. Let's go through our articulation here. So his arm, we're gonna have to be a little careful, right? We have some shoulder joint. This thing already feels like it wants to come out. Some shoulder pieces into the hands. You can get a little bit of flexibility there. And then some swivel on the hand itself. And then the elbows, they can't go all the way back there. The piece of armor is preventing it. So up, down, come, let's try and come it around. No. I think that's all we're gonna get there. The head, this is all just one piece. And same with the head here. You get a little neck looking down, neck looking up. Can't move any of the faceplate stuff. All right. Just want to move here. Okay, so then on the abdomen, do we get an ab crunch? A little bit. There's his chest plate here is its own separate piece, but it can't, since it has this little pointy part, it can't ab crunch down into his actual abdomen. And then near the legs, we have these nice two big pieces of armor, but that doesn't prevent it from moving around. So we're gonna go, oh, okay. Oh, okay. So this is different from the usual stuff I get. There's a little rubber piece in the legs there, and then it connects to the whole leg instead of all being just like one singular ball joint. So I'm not gonna get a full like fluid motion of up. It's gonna curve the thighs a little bit. So we get a little bit of thigh curvature, and then I really don't want to go much more than that there. Knee joint, this piece here, and then we also have ankle, and then the foot, and then also a toe joint for that there. So I'm sure you can keep going with it and make some really cool poses, but who knows? At least I don't right now, right? I don't know. So we're gonna just straighten the legs back up again. And then the cape, as you can hear, it's a nice kind of like soft material. It starts around the neck and then it goes all the way down to his ankles pretty much. And the cape, it does have design. It's very kind of minuscule, but there is some design pattern on there. And at the bottom, it does have some of that like bendy rubber, so you can kind of bend it the way you want. Let's say you want just like a completely like out of the way cape, you could do something like that, or have it come out like that, the full thing. So yeah, that is that portion of the review. This is just the initial portion. I'm gonna do what I did with some of my other figures where I actually go in the camera and get a lot more of the details because I think this figure deserves it. So we saw that, and then we saw some of the accessories as well. I guess I want to set them down. I'm gonna set him down, yeah. So we got some of the accessories here, right? A nice purple metallic, very dark though. And then these hands here, and then I'll probably change the display up. But yeah, we do have one piece of the stand, or maybe just to help him stand. Yeah, and then these will probably go around his abdomen to make sure that nothing goes wrong. And then obviously you can have his sword as well. So that concludes this part of the review. We're gonna move on to the closer up portion. So here we go. All right, now we are on the in-depth, close and personal review where we can see some of the paint apps where we weren't able to see in the other style. So here we go. We're gonna start off with the head here. I have him in a nice stationary pose. And so just to get some of the detailing, right? A nice metallic-y purple that once the light hits it, it almost looks like it's just pure black. We have the nice face helmet, a lot of detail in there, a lot of crevices and divots that look very nice, along with the yellow eyes. And then we can see some of the gold as well on top there. I also have another light here helping me out. And then here we come to the cape. You can see a little bit more close up on the fabric and the design that they use, along as the neck piece. You can see the rubber neck piece there, the skulls here that look super cool with the 3 orbs, and then I guess what is chainmail, I guess, in the back, near the neck. Moving on to the arms, we have some yellow, gold, and more of that metallic purple paint application applied, continuing down towards the elbow. We can see the metallic purple there, and then that's just a hand piece. We're gonna go under where the light really doesn't come in, and it almost looks black, like I keep saying. So very nice. Other arm piece we'll kind of go through really quickly. Gold, and then the purple, as you can see, and then the yellow over there. We focused a little bit on the chest earlier, right? That nice skull design there. Very, very cool. The chest plate, gold with the metallic purple. Going down to the abdomen, we have more gold, purple, and then more gold and purple. There's a lot, and like even then, like you can see how detailed it is in there, which is very nice. We have this hip piece. It's its own separate piece, right? So I'm gonna get my hand in there. Hopefully it doesn't fall, right? It's its own, oh, it's its own separate piece, but purple and gold. That's the style. And then purple and gold. And then down to the legs here, we have our knee pieces. Purple gold with the design. And just look at that sleek, very down to the wire design they got. And then down to the shoes or the greaves. Gold on the bottom. And then almost like a silver once the light hits it. But once again, it's just purple and gold. So yeah. That is Garland in this more up close portion. We're gonna focus on the cape. Once I come back to the cape, he'll be in a different position and he will have some of the accessories, and I'll bring out the greatsword. So here we go. All right, and as you can tell here, now we have the sword in place and a different fist accessory, and I'll go ahead and tell y'all how to go about changing these. So, first off, the pose looks pretty cool there. The sword is a hollow-ish, but obviously it has to be kind of light, because if not, then it'll just drag down the arm of the figure. So I have it in this nice pose only because we can also see all the paint applications they put on compared to the other style of video, right? So boom, right? We have this nice little accessory piece. It's a little piece of chain. And then the sword itself is really big. I mean, obviously, as you can tell, like it's slanted and it's almost to his hip anyways, right? So we got that nice blue in there, that nice bronze, that nice gold, all that good stuff in there. So very nice. And then I realized that the cape was probably covering up these shoulder pad pieces. So I went ahead and changed that up. And then there, once again, we can see a little bit more of the design on the cape. And it's the same in the back there. So very, very nice. I could get him into another pose. I'm going to try and get him more into a dynamic pose with the sword. And I will show y'all how to change that right now. So, pretty much it does come with instructions on how to change the sword. As you can see here, This is a different style of fist. This is not this closed fist, because this one is sealed through the palm, and this one does have an opening. So the way it works is the hilt of the sword, the brown hilt, you can detach it from the actual greatsword blade, and then you simply slide the fist in to the hilt, and then you attach the great sword part of the blade, and really that's about it. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and jump to another pose with some more accessories. Okay, so I do have some of the different hand accessories on. I actually completely forgot to move on to the back part, as the cape has been covering it up this whole time. So as you can tell, I did put up the cape there, and so we are going to look at the back pieces here. So the shoulder pad there, and then obviously we have some hints of yellow, but the main body seems to be that nice metallic purple, seen throughout the whole side of his back as well, all the way to the calves and then back to the feet once again. So very, very nice looking, right? But you really probably won't see this part too much since the cape is there. So we're going to flip him around. And so I have him in this pose. I'm trying to put the cape down, but I don't want to put my phone down too. So we have him in that nice pose. There is our last hand accessory where it's a straight hand. And then we also have the one from the start, the kind of grasping one. And then obviously it just looks so cool in general. So very nice up and close and personal stuff. Next up will be I want to try and get a super dynamic pose, and then I think that'll be the video, and we'll return back to the verse style. So see you there. All right, so here we have him in one of the product promotion images, and I was a little nervous to get him into this stance, but honestly, it looks very, very nice, and it was pretty easy to get into. With the legs, you really just kind of have to force it in there and just move it to articulate. I was a little nervous, but it's all good, right? Head articulation looks good, the hand there, and then obviously we have the sword from earlier being laid on the ground, but even then it looks nice. He's kind of got this lunging action going on, and then obviously the cape we have. So as I was saying earlier, we do have some detail on the cape there, as you can tell, if our camera wants to focus. But yeah, I mean, I was a little afraid to get in there, but honestly, I like how it came out. This pose looks very nice. And lastly, we will switch back to the first side of the review to end off this review. Okay, and we are back finally. And I have him in a nice pose. I think I'd like to end it off on. I've got the sword on the ground there and the nice little dynamic hand pose. So to wrap up everything, I'm going to go ahead and kind of just talk a little bit more than I probably should. I didn't end up using the stand, but I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Whether you use this hook, which you can easily detach, or you use this hook. Although the directions I'm about to show you, I don't think they tell you what the little hook is for. If I were to assume anything, I would assume it's for the sword, which would be pretty cool. And then I'm going to go ahead and show y'all this, which I completely forgot about. This is the little instruction manual they have for the accessories, right? So we have a whole bunch of hand accessories, and that's what I was previously mentioning about the sword. You take off the blade from the hilt, and then you put in the hand piece there, and then you also have your really basic stand pieces there. So that is going to wrap up the initial review. Sorry, I kind of tried to do something a little bit more different, especially for a figure that I'm not really used to. I try to make it a little bit more immersive and whatnot, so hopefully y'all got to see some of, well, I believe I went through all the hands, but hopefully y'all got to see through all the different hand types, right? The straight hand, the closed fist, or that's the fist, yeah, the closed fist, open fist, where you could technically put the sword in, and then the kind of grasping one. So overall thoughts, very, very beautiful figure. Like I said, first time to have one of these like really big humanoid Bring Art Kai figures. So it's really cool to have one in the collection. Nonetheless, I think the first one, it being is Garland, is pretty memorable, right? Especially if you play Stranger of Paradise. Going through the whole story, and then you find out what is to become. Very, very nice. I like the way they did it. One of my favorite games out of last year in the 2022 year. And yeah, to have merchandise of it, gladly picked up because I enjoyed it that much. I will say the only thing I will kind of admit I wish they came with was they originally had teased the chair with the skulls on it. They had originally teased that, and then I think apparently they just cut it out. Who knows why? If I do assume, it's probably because the legs can't sit straight. Like, if you want to move the legs like in that lunge position I had earlier, the legs and the thighs, they come out. They come out, and they don't just, like, you can't just sit him down like that. Like, his thighs will have to come out, and then that might be able to make him sit down. So maybe that's why they didn't do it. Maybe I just need to keep configuring with it in terms of articulation. But I would have really, really loved to have seen that chair with all the skulls as an accessory. It just would have rounded it off as like an amazing figure to get if you're a fan of Garland's design in this game. But yeah, really cool, right? The sword, super big, super painted, super detailed. Same with the entire figure, although it pretty much is just one solid like metallic purple. It looks nice. You have gold highlights. You have some bland yellow highlights. You have the nice cape with the very minute small details on it. It's got some flexibility on there as well. And then you get a whole bunch of hand accessories, as you can see here. Whole bunch of hand accessories here for both hands, obviously. You get these stand pieces and whatnot. So whether you decide you want to take the plunge and buy this guy, because he's pretty expensive, that's completely up to you. But for as little merchandise and as little like media coverage this game got, besides being like a funny haha because of Jack, if you're a fan of the game, I would probably pick this up before it's gone forever, and this is the only piece of memorabilia we have for it. So if not, I would really love to see like an Astos figurine, or maybe even some of his party members, or even Jack by himself, and maybe we would get the throne there. But nonetheless, that is going to cover the Bring Arts Kai Chaos or Garland figure. And yeah, I think it's going to end it off. I'm going to keep messing with the articulation on this guy a little bit more, see if I can get some really cool poses. And if not, I'm going to see if someone's been making like the chair, the throne. And if not, I would probably buy that. I'm not even gonna lie. So if you're watching this and you know how to 3D print a throne that looks really good, I might be out there looking for something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it off on that note. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I appreciate it. I appreciate it if you stick around for the non-Godzilla content that I rarely upload, but when it comes, it definitely does come. So what perfect way to end off this video than with the fist bump. All right, guys, I'll see y'all in the next video.